Hi, friends. Welcome back. So, does the Fed have a surprise in store for you and the markets? Check out this headline. Markets start to speculate if the next Fed move is up, not down. Yes, you heard that correctly. Could the Fed be going up, not down? This is on February 20th, 2024. Well, if we take a look at some of the data here, there were many people in the market betting that there were going to be 7 rate cuts. I never said that. This is just some crazy people. I don't know who these crazy people are, but evidently they've come to their senses. Now they're talking more around 3 rate cuts. However, what are we talking about with this hike thing? If you take a look at the options market, and this is data from February 15th, so right after Valentine's Day, right after love has ended, there's about I guess, 5% chance of a hike there. At least that's according to the options market. You can see it right there. Around roughly 5, 6, 7% chance of no cuts, no hikes. And then the larger sort of bets are either 1 or 2 cuts or 3 or 4 cuts. So I kind of fall into the either no cut or 1 or 2 cuts, but I just want to show you guys kind of where we are at the moment. So if you trust the options market. Point being, though, is that markets be crazy. And again, I want to say that people were before betting that there were going to be 7 cuts. And now we're starting to put hikes on the table, which is really quite interesting. And the Fed minutes came out today here. You can read the headlines. Fed minutes show most officials flag risk of cutting rates too quickly. And essentially, right, as I've been saying, I'm fine with them holding them all year. It's just the markets are like, and people who are underwater, be it commercial real estate or hedge funds, if they're over leveraged, et cetera, they want those rates cuts because they're feeling the pressure. However, if you look at what some of the Fed people are saying, this is February 22nd, 2024. Fed Bowman says that time for rate cut is certainly not now. That's a quote, certainly not now. So stop asking me. And Fed Barkin says inflation data show persistent price pressures. If you want to take a look at the actual quote from the minutes, here it is from here is again from the Fed. Quote, most participants noted the risk of moving too quickly, right? That's the key right there. Risk of moving too quickly to ease the stance of policy and emphasize the importance of carefully assessing incoming data and judging whether inflation is moving down sustainably to 2%. Moreover, participants highlighted the uncertainty associated with how long a restrictive monetary policy stance would need to be maintained. And basically, guys, the problem is if they just start cutting now and things go awry, then they got to raise after that. It makes them look like a bunch of fools. So just hold off. There's no hurry. The thing is like the people who really want the hurry, again, are say your commercial real estate people or any kind of hedge funds or whatever that are severely underwater. And also, too, to be fair, political pressure, right? Because, for example, take a look at this. There was a headline that mortgage rates are 7% right now. And, and if you're a politician, you're like, hey, I'm going to, fight the Fed for you and be your buddy. And we're going to get those mortgage rates down so you can afford a house, et cetera. But there's much more to the game than just helping one individual person, because suddenly if you make it easy and essentially give out free money to everyone, suddenly what does that do? The prices, right? Prices go up because people have more access to capital. So this is always the balance, guys, is keeping, a healthy price, you could say gain or price inflation in a healthy way, opposed to like crazy inflation, and also too, making sure that people have an affordable place to live. It's a balance, and that's what it is. And we're a bit out of whack, and what we're seeing is this essentially a correction in all of the free money. However, guys, I understand that the pressure is there. I mean, I was looking at this headline here, and I'm sharing with you. It says, this is on February 21st. It's been 30 years since food ate up this much of your income. So basically, you guys know this, food costs a lot. So this is going out and your grocery store. Basically, it's about 11-ish percent of your disposable income. And then I guess it's the highest since the 90s, and they were saying back then it was they used the example of Terminator 2 and CNC Music Factory, which is, I think that's the Gonna Make You Sweat song, the Everybody Dance Now. You guys know that. I could probably sing it, but you should know what it is. We are not talking about NVIDIA earnings quite yet. I'll do that in a separate video. That's going to be out shortly, and that's essentially what we're all watching for. The markets have been hot this year, and in anticipation of NVIDIA's earnings, which expectations are very high, meaning that it's going to be tough for them to, really surprise people. But you never know. The market's already been pulling back, which I, not shocked. I think that was pretty easy to see. But we're going to see how much, right? That's the key, and that's when you get earnings. Now, if you were looking at the markets just yesterday, Palo Alto Networks reported theirs, and basically their forecast for the future not so great, or their guidance, I should say. And they're saying basically, hey, we may not be making oodles of cash until the end of 2025, so the end of next year. So that's a while yet. I mean, who knows? Predicting the future is tough, but they were at least honest about what was coming in terms of guidance, and they got punished for it. Honesty is it's hard to come by because it costs you money, like literally. The stock is down 29% in the last 5 days. I think it's like 23 or 4% on the day alone, and this is as of recording. And if you take a look at the year of Palo Alto Networks, so just you can see this for yourself. The stock's had a great year. Went from like the 150 or something at the lows. You can see that, and then just dropped off after earnings. So how far down is it going to go is anyone's guess. But it doesn't inspire confidence when you're saying, hey, you might not be till next year until we get back to the growth rates that we were before. And that's just saying, maybe. I mean, who knows what's going to happen by next year? That's kind of what's going on with that. So that's what the NVIDIA issue is like NVIDIA's had crazy moves up. I mean, you can see this for yourself. It was like $200 before, and now it's just like $600. I mean, that's a fantastic move. And, you don't actually make money on this stuff unless you sell. And so that's what some people are doing, because it's just going to be hard to meet the expectations. But you never know. That's why we have earnings reports, we'll cover soon. The other thing, too, I want to mention, guys, in terms of our crazy markets, I've covered this before, and I mentioned it again several times. So we have the Evergrande situation over in China, and that has not quite yet resolved. And that's the real estate issue. And moreover, their market's been tanking. And this is an interesting one. This just came out today. So basically the Chinese stock market, the government has come in and said you can't sell stocks. Crazy. So that is the first and last. So the first 30 minutes of the trading day and the last 30 minutes of the trading day, you can't sell. And I mean, it's nuts, right? And moreover, I mean, that means like there's too many people that want to sell, and they're trying to control this thing. Moreover, they've, I guess, put a ban on short selling, and are keeping an eye on that. Now, if you've ever wondered, have we done such a thing before? And the answer is yes, we have. If you guys remember the financial crisis, and I just pulled this up, this is the SEC thing, and I guess the UK did it also. During the financial crisis, they banned short selling, and that's sort of why you don't have like a million Michael Burrys out there, because when the word got out, you're worried about too many people piling on. So he got in early, so he actually really banked on it because a few people could do it. So the U.S. Has done it before. China's doing it right now, and that's banning short selling. But this thing of like telling people you can't sell, it's pretty crazy. Now, there's a couple ways you look at it. So one is people want to sell because they just think things are going to go down further, right? You're nervous about that. The other issue is like you got margin calls where people are heavily leveraged, and they're basically forced to sell. And if everyone's leveraged in said market, everyone's forced to sell and liquidate, etc., it just creates massive problems and a downward spiral. Sort of how these things work, and this is a market. You're always betting on what's going to happen in the future, right? So this is obviously very bearish if you have to tell people you can't sell first 30 minutes and last 30 minutes, moreover, stop short selling. And we're going to see what happens with that. So regardless of what NVIDIA says or what the Fed says, etc., just understand we are not alone in this world, and I do keep track of the Chinese markets. Now, another thing I want to mention too, with China, as their economy / markets are sinking, the U.S. is trying to figure out ways to sort of distance themselves from them. This is an interesting headline. If anyone's in this industry, please chime in. I'd like to hear your thoughts on this. Headline, though, is U.S. to invest billions to replace China-made cranes at nation's ports. The basic gist of it is, I guess these cranes and software related to it, all made in China, and we're worried if that is a security vulnerability. Maybe. Like I said, I'm not in this industry, so I can't attest to like if that's true or not. But I can say that cybersecurity is a real concern, and I do think in terms of like if and I've told this several times on the channel, if you're a young kid these days, I think that's a good field to be in for sure. That and evidently AI. Now, whether or not the money is going to keep flowing to AI and cybersecurity, let's see what NVIDIA says at earnings. And that's why we're watching this stuff. And love to hear your thoughts. And please come back for more. Thanks again for watching, everyone. And I'll catch you next video.